All right. Ooh, been a long day. We're going to be wrapping up episode 4 of Ace Attorney. And I think there's only 5 episodes in this collection. So, I think later on in the week I'll get right into episode 5 to wrap up the collection. But without further ado, let's wrap this up. I think this you lady did it. Kay, what are you doing here? Oh, hello, mister. I'm still investigating. But the object you're looking for has already... Kay, don't mind him. Please continue with your investigation. Okay, you got it. Detective Bad, haven't we already found what you're looking for? If it means I can keep her in the dark just a little longer, any little task will do. Oh, you're more sympathetic than I thought. I've been waiting for you, Edgeworth. I've also been waiting for the moment in which we can finally lay this case to rest. Wasn't that when we placed Detective Gumshoe under arrest? Well, see, it all depends on whether or not your logic holds. Oh, I see we even have a viewer in the gallery. And why, even Mr. Bad is here. Hey, a viewer in the gallery? I'm hardly just a bystander. I have a duty to see this case through to the end, no matter how it turns out. Oh, is that right? Anyway, I thought you might like to hear what I've solved already, what I've slaved away to find out. I've taken statements on every single person's movements during the time when our suspect was in the hallway. I also confirmed that there is no possible route of escape from lobby number 2. Therefore, the killer must without a doubt be Detective Gumshoe. And that's all you have. Yeah, that's all there is to my conclusion in this case. Sorry, but I beg to differ. In a trial, there is always time for a rebuttal, and we are standing in a court of law. It'd be more than appropriate to follow the rules of court in this case, don't you think? Absolutely like a rookie to think such a thing. But alright, I'll play along and give you a proper testimony. If my logic is correct, then I've already won. All I have to do now is prove it, by showing who the real killer is. Everyone since the suspect has an alibi for when the gun went off. Furthermore, the areas around the crime scene have all been thoroughly investigated, right? I also confirmed that there is no possible escape route from lobby number 2, which leaves us with one unshakable conclusion, that Detective Gumshoe is the killer. Now that you have your testimony, I expect a good rebuttal, Edgeworth. But of course, there's no need to confront her logic head on right now. I should instead focus on drawing out any trump cards she has up her sleeve.
Hold it!
A suspect? But I thought that Detective Gumshoe's alibi has already been proven. Are you joking, Nesworth? I assure you this is no joke. Look, I know you heard from the judge earlier that the detective was in the hallway with Mr. Faraday's daughter eating a Swiss roll. Yes, that is correct. But see, that was 20 minutes before the real gunshot went off, right? And the problem is, there's no one else who can corroborate what he did since the snacking. I see she's done her research well, which means that I should focus on drawing out whatever trump card she's withholding.
Hold it!
Whether they've been thoroughly investigated or not is for me to decide. The scrunched eyebrows and lines on your forehead are back. Anyway, even if you believe it hasn't been exhaustive, the crime scene lobby number 2 has no way out other than the hallway Detective Gumshoe was standing in. And because he claimed to be there, that makes him the only possible suspect. But isn't it also possible that someone escaped through a window and into the garden? That's the first place everyone looked silly. The police aren't a bunch of lazy bums. They looked into every possibility, you know? Isn't that right, Mr. Bad? Yeah. There wasn't a scrap of evidence to suggest someone used one of the windows. There also weren't any footprints or anything in the courtyard garden. I suppose they really did check everything that could be relevant to the case.
Hold it!
Are you absolutely positive there are no possible routes of escape? Of course I'm sure. And why are you so certain? This is a courthouse, the place where criminals are brought to be judged. If there was an escape route, I'm sure every criminal would be using it to escape. It's just common sense. Miles Edrin, I suggest you use a bit more of it in the future. Yeah.
Hold it!
You may think it's unshakable, but to me, there are still too many unanswered questions. For example, who was it that placed the gun in Mr. Faraday's hand? But you're the only one still wondering that. Detective Gumshoe probably had no idea which hand Mr. Faraday used to write with. Even if you know someone, it doesn't mean you'll know which hand they write with, right? I mean, I certainly don't care about that sort of thing. I'm not about to let her go get a rise out of me with such a flippant statement. You said earlier that you confirmed the alibis of every person other than the suspect. However, I don't recall either Francisca or myself speaking with you about the subject. But there were witnesses. For you, there is your mentor who gave you an alibi. I see. As for the little Missy, she came to the courthouse during the recess and was stopped by the security guard at the door to the hallway. She gave him quite a whipping for that, so I heard. and I will not be forcibly stopped by a guard or a bailiff or anybody else. Wait, so basically the only reason Franziska bothered to show up today was because she found out that I was to be the replacement prosecutor? By the way, Miss Yu, what about everyone's alibis before Detective Gumshoe was assigned to guard duty? What about them? Have you looked into what people were doing during that span of time? What kind of idiot do you take me for? It doesn't matter when the killer went into the lobby number 2. From the time we heard the gunshot to the time Mr. Bed and I arrived on the scene as we dashed from lobby number 1. The only person who could have committed the crime was Detective Gumshoe. Yes, let's talk about when you and Detective Bad heard that gunshot, shall we? I suppose that if we go by your logic, then Detective Gumshoe is the only one. However, what if the crime scene had occurred at an entirely different time than that gunshot you heard went off? What then? The gunshot was a trap meant to... Sadly, your explanation is very lacking, Edward. Gunshot we heard in lobby number 1. Care to explain how that could have been fabricated? Okay, be right back, everybody. Alright then, here you go.
Take that!
It was fabricated through this, of course. It's a joke, I get it. Your deadpan delivery is great. Of course, if you're actually serious, well, that's less of a laughing matter. Alright, so I was mistaken. What? Hold on. Yeah, I chose the wrong one by accident.
Take that!
That tape. Yes, it's exactly what you think it is. This is the surveillance tape of Mr. Rell the prosecution presented in today's trial. This was found loaded in the video player in lobby number 2. That was connected to the large television that had its volume turned all the way up. You can't honestly mean that the sound we heard was the gunshot in the video. Ah, but I do. Which leads me to my next point. The murders occurred much earlier than when anyone heard the gunshot. That's the only thing I can think of too. After committing double homicide, the killer took the surveillance video out from Mr. Faraday's evidence bank, turned the television's volume all the way up, and left the video to play. It played from the beginning. It would take 30 minutes for the gunshot sound to come on. And since we now know that this method of time manipulation is possible, it's opened up the possibility that the killer is someone other than Detective Gumshoe. Eureka!
Objection!
Sounds from a television doesn't amount to much here. But of course, Mr. Prosecutor Edgeworth and little Miss Von Karma already knew that much from the very beginning, right? Of course we knew. Didn't we, Miles? Yes, of course. We know about the soundproof quality of this courthouse rooms. Of course, I'm not about to admit we had no idea until only a little while ago. That's right, and if the rooms are soundproof, then we should not have been able to hear it. And yet we heard the gunshot clear as day. And that's it, end of story. But it's not. There is actually one common point between lobby number 1 and 2. And it's that despite the fact that both rooms have air conditioners installed, a window was open in each. Now we know that the window in lobby number 2 was opened by the killer. However, a window in lobby number 1 was also open.
Objection!
It's probably just a coincidence that they were both open at the time.
Objection!
It was no mere coincidence, I assure you. Or was the window open in lobby number 1? The answer is that a certain person did something to cause the window to open. And the person who took that action, that person is the real guilty party. It's gotta be her. But just to be sure.
Take that!
Miss Callisto Yu, I hereby formally indict you of the murder of Mr. Faraday and Mr. Rell. You indict me? Are you serious, Miles? Why do you think she is the killer? I don't understand her motive just yet, but of course I'm serious. because she is the only one who could have done it. Well, Miss Yu, do you still feel the laughing now? Of course I do, Edgeworth. My argument must not be tight enough yet. Although I never thought things would spiral into this. Well, I'll have you know I'm enjoying this dance quite a bit. I guess this means it's time for my own rebuttal now, right? You argue that the window was open, however, do you have proof it was? Or proof it was I who did that? Furthermore, do you have proof that the tape was used in committing the crime? Frankly, I'm shocked at you for going around accusing people of murder like this, especially with logic as full of holes as yours. This is where it really starts. I mustn't let my guard down for even a second, or the truth will blow away. Now it's time to put the patented Von Karma perfect proof to test.
Hold it!
Evidence? All I need to do is have some prints analyzed and we know straight away. Be my guess. She sounds as though she has the room to maneuver, which means even if we were able to lift prints, they only show that it was someone else's. But why that someone else was forced to open the window? That's simple logic. Why don't I try presenting that piece of evidence? I have nothing else to lose. What's wrong? The scrunched eyebrow lines on your forehead, they're all back. More importantly, are you going to be okay not running a fingerprint analysis? Yes, I'll be fine. Oh, well in that case, I'll just continue with my testimony, alright?
Hold it!
I thought I just proved that it was. Sure, you proved that the tape was there at the scene of the crime. However, that doesn't prove that it was actually used in said crime. Unfortunately for you, Miss Yu, the fact that the tape was there at the crime scene is in itself very important. How so? By the very existence of that tape at the crime scene, it proves that the possibility that the when of the crime could have been fabricated. And that possibility alone renders all alibis and witness reports irrelevant. Basically, it means that we all need to re-examine every person's movements again. It's kind of funny we can actually be in a courtroom now. It took 4 episodes. Whether the tape was used in the crime or not, that we can re-evaluate afterwards. So in conclusion, you're admitting that you can't prove that it was at this point.
Hold it!
Even if you're shocked, that is of no concern to me. I do things my own way. Oh, I see that you're not laughing for a change. Because I'm shocked. Again, you being shocked is no concern to me. Let us continue with this testimony. Aha. Alright, but let me say just one thing. You shouldn't go around accusing people.
Hold it!
Full of holes? Well, I suppose it might be. Oh, admitting to your faults now, Ari? At this point in time is what I meant to say. Shall I take that to mean that you're just a sore loser? You're a sore loser? No matter how full of holes my logic may be right now, if I plug them one at a time, I will ultimately make my way to the truth. What a paradox. Take care to not fall into one of those holes before you fill it up. Miles, you remember, don't you, about why a window in lobby number 1 was open? Yes, of course I do. And that's how I'll attack. I'll present the reason why the window had to be open.
Hold it!
Oh, not wrong button.
Objection!
I'm sure you've seen this before, haven't you, Miss You? Ha. Edgeworth, I never knew you were into wearing that kind of perfume. It's not exactly what I recommend for boys, you know. But this isn't mine. That's right, it's mine, and I received it from Detective Bad, you see. Miss You, you can pretend all you like, but we know at least this much is for sure. That you are the one who gave this bottle of perfume to Detective Bad. And that you're super easy to rile up. So, what about the perfume? While you were in lobby number 1, you made a big show of spilling some of this perfume. That's according to Detective Bad. Oh, I know. You also knew that it was you spilled it. He would have naturally moved to the open window.
Objection!
Come now, I've already told you that's all just a big coincidence. After we opened the window in lobby number 1, I just left it open, you know. So maybe it was just dumb luck that we heard the gunshot through the window.
Objection!
The timing of when you were going to spill the perfume is something you could control. And the most important fact about this case is when people were made to hear the shot. Furthermore, it would have been pointless if you didn't have an alibi for yourself at the time. You mean... Miss You, you were the one who called Detective Bat into lobby number 1. When you saw him bring Detective Gumshoe into the hallway. Is that correct? All of today's premeditated events could only have been thought of by you, Miss You. You accuse me of murder on the fact that I spilled a little perfume. Well, allow me to say this much. I couldn't have killed Mr. Faraday. Would you care to testify as to why? Look, I had a lot of fun today, really. But I grow weary of this game of cat and mouse. Let's make this the last testimony and wrap up this absurd case once and for all. Accusing someone of murder over a spilled bottle of perfume is a bit over the top. But I suppose forgery of evidence is to be expected of a disciple of Divine Karma. In any case, it simply could not have been me who killed Mr. Faraday. After all, I don't even know where the knife that was used to kill him came from. Miles, her testimony is flawless. Yes, but no matter what sort of trick she may try to pull, she won't escape me. And if I'm lacking in information, I'll just draw it out of her. I think I already explained the significance of that earlier. You only confirmed that I did spill some, but that's all. That you would accuse me of murder based on a simple spill. Don't you dare complain when I sue you for defamation of character. Do as you like, but as for me, I believe. You believe? I believe that you are the true culprit in this case. My, you're enthusiastic. Of course, I should have guessed.
Hold it!
I formally request that you cease your attack against my mentor. Yes, I will sue you for defamation. Alright, I'm done telling the truth. Well, maybe more like spreading gossip. Although your adamant denials are, such we say, just adding fuel to the fire. How dare you? Say just a thing! Calm down, little girl. Don't let her get to you.
Hold it!
And why exactly could you not have killed him? Okay. Your preferences have no bearing on what it is at hand.
Objection!
And Miles, if you're going to lose your cool, then I won't show you any mercy. Sorry, Miss Yu. Please continue with your testimony. As I was saying, I couldn't have possibly killed Mr. Faraday.
Hold it!
I'm sorry, Miss Yu, but maybe you weren't aware before. Miles, what do you think you're thinking? But I don't recall a knife being presented at the trial earlier today. Look, why don't you call it quit with your lies? I've already figured it out, you know? Okay. 1 second. And unless a key can magically turn into a knife, you really don't have a leg to stand on. Did you really think you could trap me? Come on. Come now, be honest. I never intended to do such a thing. It was all a misunderstanding by well, what was it? It was all a misunderstanding on my part. In any case, I wonder if you might append what you just said to your testimony. No. 1 second.
Objection!
Monsieur, I wonder if you might take a look at this photo for me. This is a picture of the key the Yadokarasu sent to the police. However, while it may look like a key at first glance, it in fact has the secret ability to transform into a knife, which means that what was inside Mr. Faraday's bag was both the Yadokarasu key and the murderous knife. Do you understand now? Just knowing of the existence. I still haven't had a good look at that. Showing it to me from that far away, you could be lying for all I know. But we can't have you accusing me of a crime with a false evidence, now can we? I mean, Mr. Von Karma, I've heard some very interesting rumors about him. Don't you dare sully the good name of my centaur, or my mentor. Now take a good look, take a good look. This piece of evidence is more than usual. You knew that the knife on the Yadakarasu key are one and the same. Otherwise, someone like you who isn't a member of law enforcement and who would never have been privy to this attack. How did you have knowledge as to what it is? Just before you dragged Mr. Rell off, he told me. Oh, that's right. I almost forgot. He also told me about the key turning into a knife at the time. Well, okay. How dare you saying it's simply not possible? Oh, why not? Within these pages, he mentions nothing about a knife.
Objection!
Okay.
Objection!
Unfortunately, that is also impossible, because Detective Gumshoe didn't know about the knife aspect earlier. Hmm. Be right with you.
Take that!
There is only one person who could have known about the dual nature of the key. And that is the person who sent the Yatakarasu's key to the police. That is to say, the Yatakarasu himself. Are you saying that this lawyer is the great thief Yatakarasu? Miss you used Mr. Rel to lure Mr. Faraday into a trap, didn't you? You who profess to bear a grudge against criminals. Why? Why do something like this? Who would have thought that you, a stupid rookie prosecutor, would see through me? You're sending the biggest chill down my spine right now, Edgeworth. This feeling of thrill. It's even greater than when I sneak into someplace. You killed Faraday! Why? Answer me, Callisto, you! Callisto, you. Huh. That's not my real name. Because my real identity is the great thief Yatakarasu. That's not good. Let me tell you something, Edgeworth. Mr. Faraday was one difficult man to deal with. For you see, he had discovered my true identity, which is why I had to erase him from the world of law. I made Rel an offer, an acquittal for a little favor in return. All he had to do was accuse Mr. Faraday of being the Yatakarasu in court. But once we entered the recess, Rel was dragged off by Mr. Faraday, which threw my plan into a complete mess. I chased after them and eavesdropped on them through a crack in the door. That Rel caves to only two things: money and authority, just as all thugs do. I feared my plan was going to be ruined if Mr. Faraday held on to Rel any longer. Plus, if I had to let them continue on the way they were, I would have been found out. That's why I had no choice. I had to kill them both. But didn't you say that you despise criminals? But do I really? Have you forgotten about the KGA incident too? Maybe. What sort of woman would... So then, was it your plan to kill Mr. Faraday with the very evidence that you sent? Well, I had a good idea of what Mr. Faraday was going to do. I anticipated that Mr. Faraday was going to prove that Rel wasn't the Yatakarasu. By using this Yatakarasu's key as evidence, and that he would bring it with him. Which is why I thought to use the knife portion. With a weapon as well disguised as this, no one would be the wiser. Because who in their right mind would think something like this could be a weapon? I casually entered lobby number 2 on the pretext that I had to talk with Mr. Faraday. And in order to get in with him, I pretended to be worried about something. He then let me hold the Yatakarasu's key, just like that. He never noticed that I had changed the key into a knife instead, inside that plastic bag. And he didn't have the chance to take note of the knife that took his life. How could you kill him? I knew him for a long time, you know. At the very least, I thought to give him a quick and painless death. But if you killed Mr. Faraday first, there was no need for you to kill Mr. Rowe as well. I believe I mentioned when we were placing Detective Gumshoe under arrest, something about having accidentally created an eyewitness, and how that led the killer to think about setting them up as though they killed each other. Then the trick with the surveillance tape. Yes, I hadn't actually planned to use a gun. The risk was too high that I'd be caught. However, that's when I remembered the existence of the surveillance tape, which is why I had Rel help me set up the crime scene. And after all was said and done, I rewarded him for all his hard work with a bullet. You're a defense attorney, aren't you? How could you? How could you betray a client? A client? We want to talk about who was a client of whose first. It was me. I was a client in the murder of the Cardofian embassy staff member, Dyed Man. You ordered a hit job? You still haven't figured it out, Mr. Bad. I had Dyed Man killed because he was about to give away info about the smuggling ring. Now, who exactly do you think would benefit from such an assassination? It can't be. You're... That's right. I'm a member of the smuggling ring. How could this... You don't mean you're working with Manny Cochin too, do you? Maybe not. Guess you'll never know. The Yatakarasu claims to be noble, but you're just another cold-blooded murderer. That's right, little girl. The Yatakarasu is just another killer. Be quiet, you. Yatakarasu. You can run from the law, but you'll never escape it. So just humbly accept the judgment of this court. Hey, Edgeworth. Did you know Yatakarasu has 3 legs? Do you know why that is? No. Well, let me tell you. It means that the Yatakarasu has more than one razor-sharp way to do her work. What the?
Good evening. We are tonight's entertainment.
You really are too naive, Edgeworth. You even handled the Yatakarasu's key right to me without a second thought. Everything may not have gone according to plan, but I'll still gladly take it. You mean the key was your real target? Even after I gave you such great advice, didn't I tell you to always keep a good eye open on a criminal? Or you may regret that what comes of your negligence. You two, get down! Hey! My body, I can't move. Hey, mister, to your right. You! Are you alright, Franziska? I'm perfectly fine, Miles. Her voice is shaking, but it looks like she is unharmed. Where did Kay go? That's a gunshot! Sorry, but it looks like she's got away. I called the precinct. They should have a perimeter set up soon. Detective Bad, are you alright? I heard a gunshot. I'm okay. Just got another hole in my jacket. He may say he's fine, but he looks quite shaken. But more importantly, boy, I mean, Mr. Edgeworth, Miss Von Karma, are you too hurt? I'm absolutely fine. I'm also alright, thanks to Kay. Speaking of Kay, where is she? I don't know. She just sort of disappeared. I'll go look for her. Oh, and hey, Detective Gumshoe. Yes, sir. Detective Bad, sir. I'm sorry I doubted you. Don't worry, sir. It's not your fault. Well, I lied to you guys too, after all. I heard about what happened from Kay. Lying while giving testimony is still unforgivable. But in this case, you were protecting Kay and her feelings. Looks like you just might have what it takes to be a real detective. Now, don't you ever lose that detective spirit, okay? You got it, Pops. Pops? Watched one too many You watched one too many detective dramas recently, have we? Way to single-handedly destroy the cheery atmosphere with one snarky comment. I should get back to the investigation. I swear, I'll catch you if it's the last thing I do. Be careful, Detective Bad, and take care. Thanks. Well, I'm off. Maybe we'll run into each other again someday. Thanks a bunch, pal. You're the best. You really did find out the truth behind everything. Yes, well, I'm glad we solved everything before you were taken to prison. I can't believe how much trouble I caused you with my testimony, Detective Gumshoe. Oh, there's no problem, really. I mean, I lied too, so I didn't help anything. It's really not your fault, Your Honor. Well, even if we didn't have His Honor's testimony, I think that lawyer would have found another way to get you convicted on her behalf. Yeah, I can't believe I was about to get fired during my first week as detective. Well, so long as you're not fired. You should work hard, give all that you have, and perform your duties well. Oh, and one more thing. Kay left a present for you with me. She did? Oh, what is it? What was it that Kay left for me to proof of their friendship?
Take that!
It's a Courthouse Special Swiss roll. Can I really have it? Yes, it's a present meant for you after all. Thanks a bunch. You have no idea how happy this makes me, Val. I'm gonna eat this right now. Sure, go ahead. The Swiss rolls Detective Gumshoe and Kay bought together. While the one Kay saved never reached her father. It would appear that her sentiments have touched the heart of this detective. He's so happy, it's as though he's having a welcome back celebration of his own. Well, I was asked by Kay to give it to him. Whoop. That was good, pal. I can't believe I got to eat two of these. I can't believe I got to eat two of these delicious things in one day. It's like I'm in a Swiss roll paradise or something. I've got to thank Kay myself. Hey, wait, where is she? You only noticed just now? Was his mind not present when he discussed her earlier? Detective Bad left to go search for her earlier. Maybe you should go join him. Yeah, you betcha, pal. I'm gonna go help him. Oh, but first, you know what, pal? Actually, I guess I shouldn't be so rude to you anymore, huh? I'm gonna stick right by your side from now on, Mr. Edgeworth, sir. I sense nothing but a most troublesome relationship from that ominous statement. We should go home too, Miles. We have to hurry and report what happened to Papa. Agreed. Well, I'm afraid we must be going now, Detective. Roger, sir. And don't you worry. I'll investigate the next case we're on for real. I'll be counting on you. The scent of trouble is definitely in the air. Thus, like a bad dream, my first outing at court came to a disturbing end. A few months later, I was finally able to properly stand in court as a prosecutor. But the detective in charge of the investigation was, as I dreaded, Detective Gumshoe. After that, he became my direct subordinate. I have tried, but words fail to describe the immeasurable suffering he has caused me. But I suppose that's just how things are. As for the little girl who suddenly disappeared, she's now... So, do you remember now? Yes, I remember everything. Kay, it's been a while. Hey, Kay, you sure grew up a lot. Of course, but thank goodness. I thought you two have totally forgotten about me. You know, I was really worried about you after all that. Where have you been all this time? Why she took up the name and mantle of the person that killed her father? She didn't know any of that? I found out through the papers or something? Gummy, I didn't know you cared. After my father died, I went to go live with my mother's relatives. They lived really far away, so I wasn't really able to come back here all that much. Oh, is that what happened? Well, I'm just glad you're alright. So does it all make sense now? You betcha it does. Oh, you know what? I was going through my father's bookshelves recently and...
Hold it!
Actually, there are still a number of things that don't make sense, Kay. Huh? First of all, why did you come all this way to see me? And second, why are you calling yourself the Yadakarasu? The Yadakarasu is Callisto Yu, the woman who killed your father. Exactly. No, you're wrong. The real Yadakarasu was my father. Mr. Faraday was the Yadakarasu? Like I said, I was going through my father's bookshelf recently, and I found a secret diary hidden among his books. I have no regrets in choosing to walk the path of the Yadakarasu. That was written in his diary, and that's how I know for sure. But that's impossible. What's with that look? You don't believe me? It wasn't just the expression on my face. I clearly said it was impossible just now. Alright then, how do you explain this? It's a way of disarming any security system of the user's choosing. Yep, that's a little thief. Truth be told, this is the Yadakarasu's greatest secret. And this little gizmo was used by my father. Wow, Mr. Faraday wasn't just a great prosecutor, he was really a great thief, huh? Yeah, my father worked really hard to steal the truth. But he was killed, and the Yadakarasu was no more. But despite that, the Yadakarasu has been spotted again recently. Someone other than you? Here, Mr. Edgeworth. Take a look at this article. The Yatagarasu sent the embassy a calling card. Yeah, meaning this person's a fake. I'm almost certain that Callisto, you lady, is behind this. Because the real Yatagarasu would never send something like a gaudy card out. But the Yatagarasu did send a white card along with anything to be publicized. That's what Detective Bad told me 7 years ago, if memory serves. Well, as soon as I heard the news, I got all wound up and I knew I couldn't just let it go. So I searched you out, so that I could retain the truth behind the Yatagarasu. Because if anyone can help me find it, I figure it's you, Mr. Edgeworth. So you're saying that I have your father's and misused identities backwards? Yes, because the real Yatagarasu is noble to the end. And I want to revive the real noble Yatagarasu. If I don't, my father will never be able to rest in peace. Kay, you're so honorable. I don't care what anyone else thinks. I'll always be here to cheer you on, pal. Even if you are honorable, a thief is a thief. And if you are plotting to commit a crime, then I'm afraid I can't be complicit. Mr. Edgeworth, you guys are not making it easy for me. Who am I supposed to support now? You're the cop. Why is that even a question? Mr. Edgeworth, what I want from you is not to steal something. What I want is the arrest of that evil woman. That evil woman? You mean Callisto Yu? I think it's too hard for me to catch her all by myself. But I thought that since you were able to expose her for who she is, then maybe... Please, Mr. Edgeworth, won't you help me? Come to think of it, I do believe I owe you. Huh? Owe me for what? But Miss Yu made her escape. It was you who saved my life. Furthermore, you helped me with the investigation today. I am not so rude as to leave favors unrepaid. Then you mean... Yes. That case has been weighing down my soul ever since that fateful day. Perhaps the time has come to settle things once and for all. If you don't intend to sully your hands in a crime, then I believe I can help you. Mr. Edgeworth, thank you. Yeah, Mr. Edgeworth, sir. Yeah, Mr. Edgeworth, sir. Isn't that great, Kay? Yeah, it sure has got me. Even though he had completely forgotten about her until just now. What is with their chummy relationship? The great thief Yatagarasu. After all that time, the true identity of the thief sank back into the darkness. Byrne Faraday, Callisto Yu, and Kay Faraday. The phantasmagorically changing identity of the great thief Yatagarasu. That's one hell of a word. And the Yatagarasu's real goal. It would all come to light the day after I made that promise to Kay. All right. Okay. Turnabout Ablaze. So I think this will probably be the last episode of this collection. So I'll probably get into it later on this week. I think I might hop into some Destiny in a minute. But yeah, that was it. God. I feel like it's like man, I've been trying to blaze through a lot of these games. Going through Black Myth Wukong, got that wrapped up. Now I'm nearly finishing up this Ace Attorney stuff. I really am considering playing the Ultimate Edition of Final Fantasy 15. Even though I did play the standard version a few years ago up on my YouTube channel, but I figure I can replay that again but this time the like the special edition version with all the DLCs and what have you. So when I'm done with the reaction of all the cutscenes of FF15 up on my channel, that's when I'll probably eventually hop in to actually play the game again, but this time with all the necessary all the DLCs and all the other stuff. But anyway, I will see you guys in a little bit. Take care. If otherwise take care, and I'll hopefully see you soon.